Now we are back. The Puff trial started the other day. It's going to be quite a spring summer.
Yeah.
Day one didn't go well for Puff, from what the legal experts are saying. Prosecution laid out an argument. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
Well, the legal non-experts are saying he had a great first day.
Yeah.
The legal non-experts are saying that he absolutely smoked it, and his team of attorneys put on a masterclass.
Yeah, that's the sentiment I got.
Yeah. That's what I've been hearing from a lot of the cultural critics, a lot of the observers, and then a lot of legal experts are saying that they're setting the trap for his team.
Okay.
Again, it'll be interesting to see which direction it goes in. But to me, Puff has he has an argument that will be legible to a juror, which is, I'm a wild dude. I like freaky shit. People willingly did the freaky shit. I do fucked up things, but I never did the things they charged me with. To me, that's a winnable case. But the legal experts are saying the prosecution has a few things in the tuck, particularly the male escort who testified. That is going to be a harder thing to defeat. And then the other thing is with Cassie's testimony, even though Cassie is saying she willfully did some of these things, she's also saying she felt scared that she couldn't, and so the domestic violence angle is going to be a thing that may stay in the juror's head, even if it doesn't make legal sense to some people. Jurors aren't always persuaded by the law, by the facts of the case. Sometimes they're persuaded by this monster. If you believe Puff is a monster, then you may believe other things, and unfortunately, sometimes juries convict you on the kind of person you are, not on the actual chart. The letter of the law.
Absolutely.
I'm totally with that if you present anything having to do with the actual charges. And I just didn't hear that in day one. Not saying they don't have it in the talk, but I didn't see or read anything directly related to sex trafficking.
They did like a summarization as to the key takeaways of day one. Yeah. So I'll just read the headlines. Please. Okay. So the prosecution highlights the two main accusers, which was Cassie, also a woman identified as Jane, according to the assistant U.S. attorney. And basically it's just talking about the coercion of the freak-offs and that sort of thing. The defense questions the accuser's motives, which is another key takeaway, which is a typical thing that they would do. In addition to that, both sides agree that Combs committed domestic violence. There's no way that they could get away with, acting like it didn't happen. The video in question is also admissible as a piece of evidence, as are the freak-off videos. I think that there's some editing that's happening with them, so it's not the entire duration. And the jurors have been instructed to wear headphones when they're watching and listening to it, because it's apparently extraordinarily graphic, both visually and audibly. Like I said, the jury will see video of the freak-offs. That was established as well. And like I said, the video of the hotel attack is central to the prosecution's case because, like Joe was saying, his character is on trial right now. Yeah, right. That's just the bottom line. His character is on trial, and everything that they have heard about this man prior to and during this whole thing might actually be what persuades some of the jurors to make their decision. There was the male escort who testified. He said he was paid for sex. He testified that Combs assaulted Ventura twice by way of his witness. And again, testimony about explicit and graphic descriptions. And also, Puffy's whole family was there to show support.
Which was super interesting. I'm going back to the male escort, right? He says he was paid to have sex. Yes. If you're a juror, you may say, all right, well, I was paid to have sex. He was paid to have sex. That's fine. Right? Whether I like it, agree with it or not, that's not illegal. The problem is...
Well, I think it is illegal.
I'm sorry. It doesn't it doesn't prove that he broke the other laws. Right. Absolutely. The sex stuff is illegal. Right. But it doesn't mean that it was force, coercion, sexual. And honestly, if the worst thing Diddy caught was a prostitution charge, he'd probably be very happy with that, that outcome. Right. The problem is, one of the things that the escort is testifying to and already testified to was that he witnessed a lot of abuse with Cassie. So if Cassie's saying, I was scared not to do this, I was forced into this, and you have a male escort saying, yeah, I watched her be forced into some of the stuff that we did, that's where the jury is going to have that's where the jury is going to have to make some decisions about whether they trust Puffy's account or whether they trust Cassie's account, etc.
Yeah,
that's where it's going to get murky for him.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they're talking, the overarching theme here is coercion and consent, you know, and so with the male escort saying that she paid for everything, whatever,
yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean that she wasn't coerced. That doesn't necessarily mean that his reach is not that far. The perception of his reach is not that far. You know what I mean? That she wouldn't do his bidding for him out of fear.
But it also doesn't prove that she wasn't doing that on her own. Like they have to, if you, like you said, coercion is basically what's trying to be proven here. That's not proving it. He's saying she paid for it, and they're just trying to allude to the fact that Puff did whatever. This from what I read day one, I don't see it yet.
Well, again, remember what the charges are, right? There's 5 criminal counts: racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. It sounds like, just by observation, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution seems like that's not going to be that hard to prove. Right. 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, that's a little bit tougher. The RICO one is probably going to be the hardest one to prove, right? But sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion it comes down to whether you believe Cassie. Cassie is, if you have an eyewitness saying this was done to me, right? You also have evidence that she was abused. Again, a person could read this and say, hey, maybe this is a revenge prosecution. Someone could hear this and say, why should we not believe Cassie? Right. She settled.
That's what the video kind of.
That's what I'm saying. So all the video evidence, all that stuff could make someone have strong feelings, as people do, about Puff, whether or not you agree with the charges or not.
The ongoing trial involving music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has captured national attention as serious allegations have emerged from former associates and individuals who worked closely with him. The case is currently unfolding in New York, where federal investigators have presented claims related to misconduct, coercion, and abuse of power over a period of nearly 2 decades. Central to the case is singer Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, who has testified about disturbing experiences during their long-term relationship. Her testimony includes claims that she was mistreated, manipulated, and pressured into situations she did not feel comfortable with. Footage from a 2016 incident at a Los Angeles hotel was shown in court, reportedly displaying behavior that supports her version of events. In addition to Cassie's testimony, other individuals have come forward with accounts of being placed in high-pressure situations under Diddy's direction. These accounts are being used by prosecutors to show a pattern of behavior over the years. Text messages, photos, and other forms of communication have been submitted as evidence to back these claims. On the other hand, Diddy's legal team argues that the accusations are being exaggerated or used as a way to gain financial settlements, stating that the relationships and interactions in question were all voluntary and consensual. Public opinion is currently split. Some people believe this case is an important moment for accountability in the entertainment industry, highlighting how power can be misused behind the scenes. Others, however, are skeptical of the timing of the claims and wonder if there is a financial or reputational motive behind them. The trial has sparked broader conversations on social media about how influential figures are treated when serious claims are made against them, and whether the legal system can fairly handle such high-profile cases. As the proceedings continue, the outcome is expected to have a major impact on Diddy's legacy and future in the industry. Many are watching closely to see how the evidence unfolds and what it might mean for others in similar positions of influence. The case is shaping up to be one of the most talked about legal battles in music and entertainment in recent years.